Arthritis isn't just pain. It's a quiet battle that follows you everywhere. It's waking up in the morning and wondering if your knees will cooperate. It's gripping the edge of the bed because your fingers don't want to bend. It's the slow, invisible erosion of movement, comfort, and freedom. And for many people, relief seems to come with conditions. Endless medications, harsh side effects, complicated diets, expensive supplements. But what if the answer wasn't found in a pill bottle, but on your plate? What if the most powerful tools against inflammation, stiffness, and pain were humble ingredients hiding in plain sight? Foods so ordinary we walk past them every day without realizing they hold the potential to change everything? In the world of social media health trends, it's easy to get distracted by exotic superfoods and miracle powders. Yet history tells a different story. Across ancient cultures, from the Mediterranean to Asia to the Middle East, healing often came from simple, accessible, plant-based foods that nourished the body from the inside out. Today, science finally confirms what tradition knew all along. Certain whole foods don't just feed us, they actively fight the root causes of arthritis. This is the story of 3 of those foods. They're not flashy. They don't have fancy labels, but they are quietly, consistently, biologically powerful. The first one? Lentils. Not exactly Instagram famous, not glamorous, but if arthritis had a nemesis, lentils might be it. They rebuild tissues, calm inflammation, and support the muscles that protect your joints. They don't just mask pain, they help the body heal. Then, there are chickpeas. Maybe you know them as the base of hummus or a topping in salads. But beneath their humble exterior lies a shield of antioxidants and micronutrients that fight cellular damage, ease stiffness, and empower your body's natural defense system. Finally, tofu. Some people skip it because they don't know how to cook it. Others underestimate it. But tofu isn't just a meat alternative. It's one of the very few complete plant proteins on Earth. It nourishes bones, muscles, and even hormonal pathways tied to joint inflammation. It's scientifically backed, culturally rooted, and surprisingly versatile. This isn't just a nutrition lesson, it's a shift in perspective. Because managing arthritis isn't only about removing what hurts, it's about adding what heals. It's about giving your body the raw materials it needs to rebuild, repair, and recover, one meal at a time. In this journey, we're not just talking about food. We're talking about hope. About the possibility that healing might be simpler than we've been led to believe. About reclaiming control through small, powerful choices. So let's step into the kitchen, not as cooks, but as architects of wellness. Let's look beyond the labels, beyond the trends, and rediscover the foods that quietly fight for us every single day. Starting with an unlikely hero, lentils. Let's talk about lentils. At first glance, they're not exciting. They're not colorful like berries or trendy like avocado toast. They sit quietly on the shelf in a simple bag. No marketing, no hype. But if you're living with arthritis, lentils might be one of the most powerful allies your body could ever have. Why? Because lentils don't just fill you up, they help you heal. Your body needs protein to repair and rebuild tissues, especially muscle. And muscles are more than just strength. They support your joints like scaffolding supports a building. When your muscles weaken, your joints carry more stress. More stress equals more pain. Now, sure, red meat has protein, but it also brings inflammation along with it, thanks to saturated fat and inflammatory compounds created during cooking. That's like trying to fix a fire with gasoline. Lentils, on the other hand, deliver high-quality plant protein without the inflammatory baggage. They work with your body, not against it. They empower your muscles, stabilize your joints, and set the stage for healing. Quietly, gently, naturally. But the real magic, it goes deeper than protein. Lentils are loaded with magnesium, one of the most underrated minerals in modern nutrition. Think of magnesium like your body's natural muscle relaxer. It soothes tightness, calms overworked muscles, and even eases nerve pain. Ever wake up feeling like your joints are locked in place? That morning stiffness isn't just joint damage, it's muscular tension. Magnesium helps unlock your body from the inside. Next is potassium, the mineral that works behind the scenes like a drainage system. Too much sodium from processed foods causes water retention and swelling, especially in the hands and knees. Potassium helps flush out that excess sodium, lowering fluid buildup and pressure in the joints. Less swelling means less pain. It's that simple. It's not just nutrition, it's chemistry playing out in your favor. And now, let's talk fiber, the quiet inflammation fighter. Most people think fiber is only for digestion, but here's what many don't realize. Blood sugar spikes can trigger inflammatory chemicals in the body. Every time your blood sugar surges, your joints feel it. Lentils slow down sugar absorption, keeping your blood sugar smooth and steady, like a calm river instead of a crashing wave. When blood sugar is stable, inflammation drops. When inflammation drops, movement becomes easier. But we're not done. Lentils are rich in folate, vitamin B9, which lowers homocysteine, a compound linked to increased inflammation and joint damage when levels are high. It works behind the scenes, quietly protecting your joints at the cellular level. This is long-term defense, a slow, steady builder of resilience over time. And here's the best part. Lentils are incredibly easy to use. No soaking overnight, no complicated prep. Just rinse, simmer for 20 to 30 minutes, and they're ready. They absorb flavor beautifully. Garlic, onions, curry, chili, lemon, herbs, whatever you love, they'll bring to life. Toss them in soups, add them to stews, stir them into salads. Turn them into tacos or veggie burgers. They're affordable, accessible, and gut-friendly. No heavy bloating like other legumes. Want to supercharge their healing power? Combine lentils with other anti-inflammatory heroes. Turmeric, spinach, kale, black pepper, olive oil, lemon. This isn't just a meal. It's a therapeutic blend of nutrients working together like a symphony of healing. And let's be real, sometimes arthritis makes you feel powerless, like your body is moving in the wrong direction. But every spoonful of lentils says otherwise. It says you still have choices, you still have control, you can still fight back. Small changes really do add up. You don't have to overhaul your diet overnight. Just begin. Add lentils a few times a week. Feel the difference. Let them remind you, healing doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. It can be simple, warm, comforting. It can start with something as humble as a bowl of lentils. Now, let's talk about one of the most underestimated foods on the planet, chickpeas. You've seen them in salads. You've dipped veggies into hummus. Maybe you've roasted them for a snack. But what if I told you chickpeas aren't just a side dish? They're a strategic weapon in the fight against arthritis. Just like lentils, chickpeas provide a powerful plant-based protein that supports muscle repair and stability, crucial for protecting your joints. When the muscles around your knees, hips, and hands are strong, your joints don't have to carry the full load. That means less strain and less pain. But protein is just the beginning. What really sets chickpeas apart is their richness in polyphenols, natural plant compounds that act like tiny cellular bodyguards. Polyphenols neutralize free radicals, unstable molecules that damage tissues and trigger inflammation. If you have arthritis, your body is under constant oxidative stress. Chickpeas step in like a shield, protecting cells before inflammation spirals out of control. This isn't a band-aid, it's deep cellular protection. Then there's vitamin C, a nutrient essential for producing collagen, the cushioning material between your bones. Think of collagen as your body's built-in shock absorber. Without enough collagen, movement becomes rough, grinding, and painful. Chickpeas help your body rebuild that smooth glide between joints. You're not just soothing pain, you're restoring function. And just like lentils, chickpeas are rich in magnesium, the mineral of relaxation. Magnesium helps release muscle tension, calm the nervous system, and even improve sleep quality. And here's something most people don't realize: poor sleep increases inflammation. So when chickpeas help you relax and rest deeper, they're supporting healing in more ways than one. But let's not forget one of the most important factors in arthritis management: blood sugar stability. Chickpeas are naturally high in fiber, which slows digestion and prevents blood sugar spikes. Why does that matter? Because every blood sugar spike triggers inflammatory chemicals in the body. Over time, that constant inflammation wears down your joints. Chickpeas keep your blood sugar stable, your energy steady, and your inflammation low. This is food acting like medicine, but chickpeas don't just heal. They're deliciously flexible. Sure, hummus is the classic, creamy, flavorful, satisfying, but chickpeas can do so much more. Roast them with olive oil and spices for a crunchy snack. Toss them into salads, stews, or grain bowls for extra protein and fiber. Stir-fry them with turmeric and vegetables for an anti-inflammatory meal. Blend them into veggie burgers or falafel. Use chickpea flour to make gluten-free breads, pancakes, or even cookies. Add them into brownie batter for a secretly nutritious dessert. Because they're mild in flavor, they take on any seasoning: savory, spicy, smoky, even sweet. And here's another bonus: chickpeas are filling. They keep you satisfied longer, helping with weight management, one of the most effective ways to reduce arthritis pain. Less body weight equals less pressure on your joints, especially the knees. In fact, losing just 1 pound of body weight removes about 4 pounds of pressure from your knees when walking. Chickpeas help make that process easier, naturally. They're also affordable and easy to find, canned or dry. If you use canned, rinse to remove extra sodium. If you cook them dry, you save even more money and get better texture. So how often should you eat them? A few times a week is a great start. Some people eat them daily, and their joints thank them for it. Because this is more than nutrition. This is philosophy. Healing doesn't always come in dramatic breakthroughs. Sometimes it comes in quiet consistency. Every bowl of chickpeas is a vote for strength, for resilience, for taking control. Arthritis may try to limit you, but food gives you power back. And if lentils are the builder, chickpeas are the shield. Now, let's meet the final member of this healing trio, one that brings something unique, unexpected, and incredibly potent. A food that doesn't just support the joints, it transforms how the body handles inflammation from the inside out. Tofu. Now, let's move on to the final member of this plant-powered trio. A food often misunderstood, sometimes ignored, but scientifically one of the most powerful allies against arthritis. Tofu. Some people love it. Others say it's bland. But here's the truth. Tofu isn't meant to be the star of the show. It's the canvas. It absorbs flavor, adapts to any cuisine, and quietly fuels your body with the exact tools it needs to fight pain, rebuild strength, and restore mobility. Because tofu isn't just food, it's strategy. First, tofu is made from soybeans, one of the rare plant foods considered a complete protein. That means it contains all 9 essential amino acids your body needs to rebuild muscle tissue. And when your muscles are strong, they act like shock absorbers for your joints, taking pressure off sensitive areas like the knees, hips, and fingers. Less pressure equals less pain. Every bite of tofu is like reinforcing the structural support system of your body. But protein is just the beginning. Tofu is one of the few plant-based sources of omega-3 fatty acids, the same anti-inflammatory fats found in fish. Omega-3s lower the production of inflammatory markers in the body, chemicals like cytokines and prostaglandins that stiffen your joints and inflame tissues. While most people think fish is the only source, tofu stands quietly in the background, offering that same soothing anti-inflammatory power without the fishy taste or cost. And then comes calcium. Many people with arthritis focus only on cartilage, but strong bones matter too. When your bones are strong, your joints stay better aligned and supported. Tofu, especially calcium-set tofu, is a reliable dairy-free source of calcium. Perfect if you're lactose intolerant or trying to avoid the inflammation that dairy can trigger in some people. Even better, many tofu brands are fortified with vitamin D, the crucial partner to calcium. Vitamin D helps your body actually absorb the calcium you consume. It also plays a major role in reducing inflammation and strengthening the immune system. Yet most adults are deficient without knowing it. When you eat tofu, you're restoring a nutrient your body may have been missing for years. But tofu has another secret weapon: isoflavones. These natural compounds found in soy act like gentle hormone modulators and powerful anti-inflammatories. Some studies have shown that people who consume soy regularly report less joint pain, improved flexibility, and better overall joint function, especially in cases of rheumatoid arthritis. Isoflavones help calm the overactive immune responses that damage joints. They don't overpower the body. They guide it back into balance. And here's something fascinating. Tofu and soy are staples in many longevity cultures, like Okinawa, Japan, home to some of the longest-living people in the world. They have low rates of arthritis and age-related decline, not because of magic, but because of consistent dietary patterns built on whole, plant-based foods like tofu. Now, if you're thinking, but tofu is bland, let's clear that up. Tofu is infinitely versatile. It takes on any flavor you give it. Stir-fry it with garlic, ginger, and veggies. Marinate it in soy sauce, lemon, or chili, and pan-sear until crispy. Bake it with spices for a savory, protein-packed snack. Toss it into curries, salads, tacos, or wraps. Grill it for a smoky, satisfying texture. Prefer something creamy? Silken tofu blends into smoothies, soups, sauces, and even desserts without changing the flavor, just adding protein and anti-inflammatory benefits. You can even use tofu in place of cream or cheese to cut saturated fat while boosting nutrition. And let's not ignore the practical side. Tofu is affordable, long-lasting, and widely available. You don't need a specialty store. You don't need a big budget. You just need curiosity and a pan. How often should you eat it? For most people, a couple of times a week is a great start. If your body handles soy well, you can even enjoy it daily. Pair it with turmeric, leafy greens, quinoa, or brown rice, and you've created an anti-inflammatory powerhouse meal that supports your joints from every angle. Because tofu isn't loud, it doesn't demand attention. It works quietly, steadily, consistently, like a true warrior. Pain whispers, inflammation lingers, but tofu stands its ground. Food doesn't just feed us. It guides our biology. It shapes our future. It reminds us that even when arthritis makes us feel powerless, we can still reclaim control one meal at a time. Lentils build, chickpeas protect, tofu restores, and together they form a healing trilogy. But there's one final truth to uncover. One philosophy that ties them all together and reveals why these small, simple foods are far more powerful than we realize. Arthritis can make life feel like an ongoing negotiation with your own body. Simple things: standing up, opening jars, climbing stairs, suddenly require planning, effort, sometimes even courage. Over time, pain doesn't just live in the joints. It seeps into your confidence, your mood, your sense of control. It's easy to believe that healing must come from something dramatic, a breakthrough drug, a complex diet, a miracle cure. But what if the greatest transformation doesn't come from extreme changes, but from quiet, consistent choices repeated over time? Science has a name for this: compounding health. Small actions stacking up day after day until the entire body shifts. This isn't theory, it's biology. When you eat lentils, you're not just having dinner, you're fueling muscle strength, lowering homocysteine, balancing blood sugar, and flushing excess sodium. When you eat chickpeas, you're not just snacking, you're neutralizing free radicals, supporting collagen production, relaxing tense muscles, and stabilizing inflammation at the cellular level. When you eat tofu, you're not just replacing meat, you're building complete proteins, restoring omega-3 balance, strengthening bones, calming the immune system, and feeding your body nutrients linked to longevity. Every bite is a vote for healing. Most people overestimate the power of one big change and underestimate the power of 1,000 tiny ones. Here's the deeper truth. Healing is rarely loud. It doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes healing is waking up with 10% less stiffness, or realizing you moved today without wincing, or noticing you slept through the night for the first time in weeks. That's progress. That's momentum. That's your body remembering how to heal. Lentils, chickpeas, tofu. 3 simple foods. Cheap, ordinary, available in any grocery store, yet biologically potent in ways that rival expensive supplements or medications. They don't fight just the symptoms. They address the root: inflammation, cartilage degradation, muscle weakness, oxidative stress, nutrient depletion. They are not trendy. They are timeless. They are not magic. They are science. They are not flashy, but they are powerful. And perhaps the most important thing, they give power back to you. Because healing isn't just physical, it's psychological. The moment you realize you can influence how you feel through what you eat, you reclaim something arthritis tries to take away: hope. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just choose one recipe, one meal, one step. Maybe you start with a lentil soup this week. Maybe you try roasted chickpeas tomorrow. Maybe you experiment with tofu next weekend. And little by little, your body begins to respond. Less swelling, more movement, better energy, deeper sleep, a quieter mind, a calmer morning. This is the philosophy of longevity, the secret of the world's healthiest cultures, the forgotten rhythm of true wellness. Small, consistent nourishment over time changes everything. So as we close, remember this. You don't need exotic superfoods. You don't need perfection. You don't need to wait for a miracle. You already have the tools, right in your kitchen. Lentils to build, chickpeas to protect, tofu to restore. 3 humble foods, 3 powerful healers, 3 daily reminders that your body is not your enemy. It's your partner. And with the right support, it can still surprise you. Start small, stay consistent, trust the process. Because sometimes the most powerful medicine isn't in a bottle, it's on your plate.